And I'm Katie.
Oh, I don't know how to fix that. Hold on. Okay.
That was my allergy voice still, guys. But I'm good now.
And you're listening to Ropedrop and Parkhop. So we have some guests today.
We do, and they're
Who
fun guests.
Decided to play a little prank on you
That was great.
while you were using the restroom.
That's funny.
See if you can, judging by the level of that prank, see if you can guess who our little guests are today.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
And I actually don't have an allergy voice today.
Yeah, me
for the
either.
first time in like 3 weeks.
I feel so much better. There
too.
is a lot of stuff just floating through the air around here.
Yes. And it's been raining the last couple days, but we're about to hit the mid-90s this week. There's your weather report.
There it is.
Hold on tight.
Kenlee has her new little car that she's been parking in our driveway. And we have a tree to the left of our driveway that's a very seed poddy tree. And we have woken up twice this week because of wind and rainstorms that have come through in the evening to head to toe, like taillight to headlight, covered in seeds.
Oh, boy.
We've had to wash her car several times this week. It's
That's
been
fun.
a little crazy. Okay, let's read a review really quick, and then we'll talk about some news.
Okay.
This one was from, C Holsters 8,
Okay.
or not Holst. I think it's actually Closters. It's CHLOSTERS 8. Closters.
Okay.
I don't think it's
Maybe a
Holsters.
last name.
C Closters. Anyway, yes, and this is from sometime a year-ish ago. Disneyland Inspiration, 5 stars. Y'all are so awesome. Disney World is my home park coming from North Carolina, but moving to California during COVID to take over a business really had me missing my East Coast Disney. Once the parks opened again here in Anaheim, I was in tears of joy throughout my first experience in Disneyland. I've been to Disney parks in China, Hong Kong, and Tokyo, but never here. You both bring Disneyland magic each week, where I found a podcast that I love that now relates to the park in my backyard in Orange County. It's a kids-friendly, adult-projected view of the parks in California, and I wish you nothing but continued success and magic. I hope to see you all for a snack or a day in the parks one of these days. I'll be listening each and every week, listening and enjoying everything Disney. Thank you both.
Awesome. Thank you. That's very sweet.
Are you still here?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
hope
still
so.
there? Are
In
you still in
Anaheim?
California?
Yeah.
Are you still here listening? Let us know.
We'd love to meet up for a treat.
And tell us if it's Closters.
Yes. In fact, maybe having a meetup coming up soon. So
Yeah.
hang in there.
We keep
It's coming.
teasing it, but we're working on it. I am having a really hard time. Here, full disclosure. I have reached out to several. So we want to do our meetup Gumball Rally weekend.
Right.
We did have someone reach out to us this weekend who said typically Gumball Rally is the first weekend in February, which is accurate, but that's also half marathon weekend next year.
True. So maybe they'll push it back.
So they may push it back. I have reached out to 2 people who are in charge of Gumball Rally things and have not heard back from either of them.
Interesting.
So I'm working on it. I'm trying really hard because I really want to figure it out. And
Yeah, because we want to make, because we had multiple people say that would be so fun to do Gumball Rally with you, and why not just turn it all into one big party weekend, right? That would be so
I mean,
fun.
tentatively, if we can get in touch with the Gumball Rally people, we'd love to partner. We'd love to work with them and maybe see if we could have some sort of rope drop discount, which we'll see. And that may not happen. We'll see. But
And if we can't make it happen, we're definitely having a meetup one way or the other.
For
It's
sure.
just
And it might still be Gumball Rally weekend.
Right. So we will
just
keep
need
you
to figure it
posted
out.
as soon as possible on a date for that, so you can put that in your calendar and get ready.
But I think our plan would be Friday night, have dinner like we did this past time. Saturday, Gumball Rally all day long. Sunday, hang out a little bit in the parks. We toyed with the idea of a VIP tour. We'll kind of see if that works out or not. And then Monday, maybe we record a podcast. So maybe it's very similar to what we did this year.
Yeah, because I thought that worked out really well. We had a lot of fun, and it was the perfect amount of time with everybody. So
Yeah.
that's the plan. So could you just block out all of February and March in your calendar?
Be prepared for whatever we throw at you.
Yes.
But we're
That'd be
working on
great.
it, just so you know. We didn't say we're working on it and then stop working on it. We are working on it. I'm trying really hard.
Yes.
I am.
Yes. She's doing a great job.
I'm trying.
And I just want to say really quickly, I've had a ton of great feedback about our episode last week, which I was
travel agent
Yes, which
episode?
I was kind of nervous to record this. It was actually Erin's idea. So kudos to her for coming up with this idea. But I was a little nervous about how it would be received, if people would think it sounded like one big ad for us. But we've gotten actually, and I don't know if the Instagram account has also gotten some messages, but I've gotten some personal messages from people just saying, thank you for explaining how it worked, because I had no idea.
Right.
And I've actually had a couple of people that I know reach out and say, hey, I'd love your help planning, even though I'm a very hands-on person. Like, I'd love to have you in my corner. So
yeah, using a travel agent doesn't mean you give up control of your trip at all. It just means you have someone in your corner who's helping you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you for that feedback.
Yeah, very much.
Because like I said, I was a little bit nervous about how it would be received. And so it was nice to kind of hear that it was helpful to a lot of people.
Well, and I did post a question box also in conjunction with on our Instagram account. And we had some really great questions. And I answered them as best I could. And I got really great feedback on that. Also, there are a lot of people who didn't know that it's free to use a travel agent if you book a package through Disney. They didn't know that we could book Good Neighbor hotels. They thought we could only book Disneyland property hotels, which we can book all of those hotels that are nearby. And even if they're not a Good Neighbor hotel, we might be able to work with you and do that too.
Absolutely.
They didn't know that we could take payments, that there's a $200 down, and then they could make payments, however many payments you want, using Disney gift cards if you want. Like, there's all kinds of things that people just weren't aware of.
Right. So go back and listen to that episode if you haven't already, if you're curious about how it all works and how we can help you.
Because we totally can. We like to.
We do. We love it. It's what we do.
My kids were like, Mom, this is all you do now. And I was like, hey, I like it.
Do what you love, right?
I know. That's exactly right. Okay.
News. Not a ton. What the biggest news, I think, is that Critter Country is slowly being shut down.
Yes. So July 8th, if you have a trip coming up sometime after, and there's no opening date yet, but July 8th moving forward, pretty much everything from Haunted Mansion to Galaxy's Edge is going to be closed.
Right, even that walkway to Galaxy's Edge. So don't plan on going to Rise of the Resistance that direction.
Correct. And, that includes the Hungry Bear. Pooh's already been down, obviously, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I've heard rumor that they're widening a path back there, which would be lovely.
Probably good.
Let's see what happens. The real disappointment in this whole thing is the canoes.
Yes,
the
totally.
canoes were going down.
What is Duke going to do with his life for the next 3 months?
Cousin Duke. What will Cousin Duke do? Hopefully they utilize him somewhere.
I hope so, too.
I did not see that the Tom Sawyer Island is closed, so that should remain open. That's probably Harbor Galley. Tom Sawyer Island is probably the farthest point you're going to get if you head that direction.
Is that where you get on the rafts right there at Harbor Galley?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think right before it.
Well, there you go.
So you can go get yourself a lobster roll and hop on a raft and go over to Tom Sawyer Island to eat your lobster.
Do you know, are those rafts the same ones that they use in the Fantasmic show?
I think so. That's a good question.
And are they still doing the cute little jazz show on the water now that Fantasmic is back open? Cute? I haven't heard anything about it.
Did you say it was cute?
Yeah, it's cute. It's got the little frog in it, right?
I mean, did anyone really
I'm just curious.
Pay attention? Queenie?
Yes, I'm just curious if that's still running now that Fantasmic's back. I felt like it was a placeholder, right?
Let's see if it's on the entertainment calendar, because that is an excellent question that I just don't even know the answer. Was it ever on the entertainment calendar? Let's look.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, because that's how we knew what the title of it was.
Queenie and the Jambalaya
Jazz Band something.
Oh, yeah. Jambalaya Jazz Band on the Mark Twain Riverboat. And it just says park atmosphere. It doesn't have times.
And I thought they were doing it on the rafts before, but I guess I never really saw it in real life, so I don't know.
Maybe they've changed it. Maybe they've...
But weren't there were water projections and stuff, too.
It also says there are no show times today, so maybe it's not running anymore.
Maybe it's done.
It's very curious.
I was going to say something else about Fantasmic. The reviews are coming in for like Rancho del Zocalo, which is a new offering for Fantasmic dining packages. And the consensus seems to be that it's good and the seating area is great.
Yeah. And honestly, it makes so much sense now, because we were kind of confused why they were offering Rancho del Zocalo, but they're closing Hungry Bear.
Right.
So,
yeah,
makes sense. Plus, well, I don't know. I was going to say, I think I like Rancho del Zocalo better than Hungry Bear. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I can't decide.
I really wish Rancho would get mobile ordering, though.
I do, too.
I feel like that is lacking there.
And why not?
Why not?
I feel like they've got plenty of space in there. It's a big open area when you're inside ordering. I wonder what the reasoning is.
I'm not sure.
Disney, and we know you're listening. Somebody hit us up on Instagram and let us know why.
I guess it is kind of more like a cafeteria style once you get in there. Same as Plaza Inn, and Plaza Inn doesn't have mobile order either. So maybe that's the reasoning, is it's hard to put together an
but
order.
Alien Pizza Planet is that way as well, and they have mobile order.
That's true, but you're just, I don't know.
I don't either.
Maybe there's too much customization available at Rancho and Plaza Inn.
Maybe. And I think Rancho also changes their menu enough. Like they have some seasonal things that happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never mind. Who knows?
I know. Now that we're talking this through, we understand. It's fine. Don't get mobile order. Moving on.
Just fine, guys. We don't care. There's a new security entrance into downtown Disney, which kind of just happened.
It was a surprise.
Surprise. So this last week, people woke up from the Disneyland Hotel and went out to the security area, and they were waiting in line, and then security came over and escorted them to the new security area that nobody really knew about. Yeah. Did we know about it? I feel like we did not.
There was not. I feel like the general consensus is it just opened one day appeared. And nobody knew it was even happening, or maybe somebody did, but it just it was part of the bigger downtown Disney refurb apparently, but I don't feel like it was ever announced anywhere that there'd be a new entrance.
It answers the question though, because I've had the question frequently, especially like when you watch David from Fresh Baked do his monorail crawl and he looks out. There's been a surfboard shaped thing back behind Din Tai Fung, and I've wondered what that is, because we have the stage, which is also that surfboard shape, and I thought that's not another stage. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's a security entrance.
And I remember at least a month ago, maybe a couple of months ago, them announcing that there would be a dedicated entrance for Disneyland hotel guests. And it makes sense now that they'll have a general entrance for people parking at the Simba lot and people coming from Pixar Place now. We'll use that new entrance, and then eventually Disneyland Hotel will have their own entrance, probably where it was before.
Probably near the Sorcerer's Tap. Yep. This one, if you want to visualize it, we talked about it before we recorded, and I was having a really hard time visualizing it. So we went online and we found a video. It is behind Din Tai Fung. It's kind of angled. So it's going to be closer to the south end of the Adventureland Tower and across the walkway.
And it kind of takes you in behind Din Tai Fung and next
to that
to where
where
the AstroTurf is.
Which also answers the question, because we have talked about this on here before. That stage is in a really random spot.
It is.
And I was like, you kind of walk right past it. You're not going to walk right past it. I mean, you are going to walk past it.
You'll walk in front of whoever's performing instead of behind them, whereas now it's very awkward. And that's going to be the welcome to downtown Disney, which is kind of cool. I think it's cool, too.
See, we really did not know about this.
I know.
This answers a lot of questions.
It does, and I'm excited to go check it out.
It makes things feel a lot more cohesive.
Agreed.
Disney, this is why I try really hard not to doubt them.
Yes. We give you the benefit of the doubt a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, DAS changes coming up June 18th. We still don't know exactly how it's going to be implemented at Disneyland, but if it follows how it's going at Disney World, it's not good.
It's not going well.
Yeah.
And that's really probably all we should say about it.
Yeah, we'll just keep watching, need to beat
hash
that.
it again. Yeah. But yeah, it's coming right up. So be prepared. My good friend Ryan, the tour guide, is going to be working at the accessibility booth in the Esplanade.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm kind of curious. I might reach out to him and just see if he can share any background info. We'll see.
I'm sure not too much insider
Probably
info,
not.
But at least he can tell us how it's going, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else at Disneyland? Because we've got some Disney World stuff happening that we need to talk about.
This is what happens when I don't write it down. Let me think for 2 seconds.
We can always come back if we need to.
Oh, yes. Club Pixar.
Oh, yeah.
I had to think through it really fast. Club Pixar closed early.
Yep.
We don't know why. Well, we do know why.
There's a rumor that there was some cast member unionization that happened that shut it down. Also, Disney's official statement, I think, is that it wasn't popular enough to keep it around.
Which I've also heard. I've heard it was kind of lame.
Yeah.
And what you were reading too is that people prefer the Pixar play back in Fantasyland to this Club Pixar thing.
Right.
So we were kind of talking about this back in the day. There was the Mad Tea Party that was back in that Hollywood backlot area.
Yeah. That wasn't too long ago. It hasn't been gone for that long, it doesn't feel like.
I mean, it was before COVID.
Time goes on fast, quickly, right? But
it was before COVID.
And it was very popular.
Super popular.
It was
and so
like
much fun.
Big old rave back there.
It was really fun.
And I would say it was not adult oriented, but it kind of like appealed to all ages, whereas it sounds like this Club Pixar was geared more towards like little tiny kids and wasn't keeping adults' attention.
No, and also not keeping kids' attention. Like it was kind of boring, I've heard. So they closed it down.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to the cast members that were working on that. Hopefully you've got a new exciting place to go. Hey, you can go hang out with Duke in the back room.
In the lounge.
Yeah, go have some Starbucks and sit in the lounge and wait to get called back.
Just wait for a job.
Anyway, I think that's it for Disneyland. The big news out of Disney World this week, which relates to Disneyland as well because that's coming up soon, is that Tiana's Bayou Adventure has been open for previews now for about a week.
Yeah.
And Disney randomly released this weird POV of the ride through. Mm-hmm. People didn't love the ride through on the POV. It's not super well done, to be honest. And I actually haven't watched it because I don't want any spoilers. But the chatter that I'm hearing was the POV doesn't do it justice. And that even the people that are going on it, very mixed reviews.
So something I will say, some feedback that I've seen is, number one, people appreciate that Disney released a POV because the consensus on creators is that they're not super well received. And they clamor for the first glimpse at new things.
Agreed.
And it sometimes is a bit obnoxious. And so I have read some feedback saying, I'm super happy that Disney released this because now it just takes the wind out of the sails of the creators that really want to be the first to show you.
And I feel like that's probably why they did it. Yes. I just wish that it had been more well thought out and that they'd maybe hired a creator.
So
POV.
Talking about creators, there was one I was watching the other day and she was super excited because she was there. She was standing on the little bridge walkway area watching the boats come down because they were testing. And then all of a sudden people started coming through on some of the boats and she was very excited about it. But one of the things that she saw was some of the boats had camera apparatus strapped onto the front of it, which I'm assuming they were filming the POV at that point. It's not well done. It's kind of a lame video. And like I kept thinking it would be so much better. It's obviously strapped. It's obviously mounted on the boat.
Right.
It'd be so much better if there was someone there who could turn the camera and let you
would be if
focus.
You were a guest on the boat, right?
Yes. Like, come on,
You're not
guys.
sitting on the front of the boat with your head pointed forward the whole time.
Right. You guys are swimming in cash. Hire someone to videograph this and make it a presentable, good piece of content instead of just hooking a camera up to a boat and sending it on its way.
It just felt very like a last minute decision, like, we better get the jump on this, right? Yeah.
Right. Consensus is it's a weird video. Also, they dropped it and didn't post that it was a spoiler. Like they kind of just shared the video on their social media.
Like maybe don't watch if you don't want the ride spoiled for you.
And so all of a sudden you're climbing the climb and you're dropping the drop and you're seeing all of it and you're like, wait, I didn't want to do that quite yet. So for people like you who don't want to have spoilers, they kind of got spoilers thrown in their face. So
and we don't want
could have been done better.
Yes, and we don't want to spoil it for you either if you don't want it to be spoiled. So don't go watch that video if you don't want to see it spoiled. And also just don't be online right now because everybody's talking about it.
If you're at all in the Disney community, you'll see it. I have seen mixed reviews for people who've actually ridden it.
And there's no middle ground on it, really. I've either heard people say they really loved it and it was a great up-zhuzh of the ride. Okay. And then a lot of people are like, why did they do this? Why did they do Tiana dirty?
Yes, and that's the main thing I've actually heard, probably more than people who loved it, is that the story's weird. It's not a real cohesive story that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people have said, Princess and the Frog is a really great movie.
Yeah.
They could have really done a great ride based on the movie, but it's not based on the movie. It's based on what happens after the movie, I think.
Interesting.
And it's kind of weird.
Yeah, like they're trying to get a band together with a bunch of little critters.
Right.
And you're shrunk down to the size of a frog in part of the ride. And here, this is what I've heard is why did a single princess from a single movie get a whole ride based on her? And then other people are saying, why didn't she get a whole brand new ride based on her? She deserves that. So it's very polarizing. It's very interesting to me.
It is interesting. And I know that there are still the people who are holdouts for Splash Mountain who are just really angry that they took that away.
Yeah.
It's the same ride. It's just the story, from what I hear, is not super cohesive. The animatronics are very impressive.
They are. They're very cute.
That's something I've also seen is people are like, it looks like they spent the entire budget on the animatronics and then forgot the rest of the ride.
And then I was still holding out hope that they'd have a Dr. Facilier sighting in the ride, and it sounds like not.
Nothing.
So there's no villain included at all in this ride, which...
So, I mean, I'm going to withhold complete judgment until I actually... Because I think part of it is the feel, right?
Absolutely.
I can watch a video, which I have, I watched the
You
ride
did watch
through.
it.
I did. I mean, kind of half watched it while I
Sure.
was doing other stuff.
But like you said, that doesn't give you a feel for what the ride
not
is
at all. And so I'm going to withhold judgment until I have the chance to be there, hear the
Same.
music, see all of the things, smell the smells, you know?
Yeah.
But
The
so far,
beignets.
it's very mixed reviews on it.
Yeah.
And still no opening date for Disneyland on that.
I'm sure there are at least a handful of our listeners that get to go to preview. So reach out and let us know your feedback.
Cast members, annual pass holders, DVC, Club 33. There's going to be all kinds of people getting to go to preview. So if you tell us what you think of it. And also over at Walt Disney World, the Island Tower at the Polynesian is opening this week.
Yes, it's officially open if you're listening to this on Friday.
Correct.
It
It's
opens
not
on
open.
Wednesday.
It's not open today when we record. It opens on Thursday. I lied.
Yes. And here's it's beautiful. It's, brand spanking new rooms. It's very generic looking to me.
Okay, so let's bounce. Well, after we're done talking about this, let's bounce back to the Downtown Disney security entrance because a lot of people have complained about that looking very generic as well. It's kind of, is it, I didn't look at pictures. You compared it to the villas.
It looks a lot like the Disneyland Hotel villas to me, the same, exact. And they're kind of moving this direction with all the DVC villa properties around. And anytime they do a refurbishment or anything, it kind of ends up looking all the same, which maybe they get a discount buying in bulk these pull down Murphy beds. And
I feel like Disney goes through eras.
They do, for sure.
So,
and I was saying before we hit record, it's probably going to be easier to keep these updated. It's kind of more of a timeless look, I would say.
Yeah.
But that makes it look more generic to me. It doesn't have the personality of, the main Polynesian building, or
it doesn't feel like that islandy feel.
Yeah.
So
and they've got some, cute Moana murals in there. So it's got a poly tie.
And it's brand new.
So
it has the freshness.
I don't actually love the look of the outside of it either.
Not at all.
I don't feel like it fits in with the Polynesian.
No, not at all.
That's also hard, especially if you are booked at the Poly and that's your view, is that tower out your window. That's kind of hard to swallow. So
it kind of reminds me a little of Gran Destino Tower.
Yeah.
The other tower that they built where it's just kind of a block.
Yeah.
It's not really, it doesn't
fit in.
look Poly to me. It's expensive. So from what we're hearing on the travel agent page that we're part of, someone called in to try to book it. They are a DVC member. They are not releasing it on points at this point. And she said that the night that she went to try to book it, it was $1,600 for the one night.
For a standard room.
Right. And so once they release points, we'll have a better idea of what the rack rate is probably.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just rack rate and it's a lot.
Which is kind of how they released the Disneyland villas to begin with as well. And they were super expensive to start with. And now they're kind of comparable to the regular Disneyland hotel,
and I actually can find him for less expensive.
Same.
Yes, less money.
Yep. And I think that's it. The drone show.
Oh yeah, Disney Springs.
It's getting
Looks
pretty
cool.
good reviews. That very first night was kind of a cluster. I heard.
Was it?
A lot of people getting trampled and
and it is over the water. We were right.
Yes, and it's beautiful.
It looks
and
really cool. Back to Disneyland, to the downtown Disney entrance. Mid-century modern, which is that whole look that they're going for with this whole zhuzhing up of Disney, downtown Disney. What do you think?
I actually like it. I think it looks really clean.
I like it.
And it's mid-century modern, so that makes it kind of timeless.
Right. People say it's not Disney enough because it's not bright and it's not colorful. And I have to say, I think the bright, colorful things don't age as well.
They don't, correct. And people were super down on
Jazz
Kitchen.
Yeah.
People were super down on that design. I think it looks clean and it will be a little more timeless. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. But I think it all fits together now.
I do.
Right?
And I think it looks really great. I think that time will tell. I think everything is annoying when it's new, right?
Yes.
When you're used to something and it's switched, it's always that first little bit of getting used to it where you're just like, I hate this.
Yeah.
And then 5 years from now, you'll be like, this is great.
Right. Well, and I sound a little contradictory saying that I feel like the clean lines in the new Poly Tower are boring and dumb, but it's okay at Downtown Disney. I don't know.
I think
that's okay, right?
I think you're entitled to have different opinions on different things.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
And I think that's it.
I think so too.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
And
enjoy our fun guests coming up next.
We'll be back next week. Oh, we have another guest coming up who we've been trying to get on the podcast for a while. We're very excited about it. I don't know when it's going to happen, but we're figuring it out. It's going to be another good one. It's going to be, I feel like, on par with our Danny Styles episode.
I think so too.
I'm very excited.
And a lot of you probably know who he is. He's pretty.
Oh, there's a hint. He's a he.
Oh, there you go.
I don't think we should tell him anymore.
Okay, sounds good.
But it's a good one.
It is a good one.
Get excited.
All right.
Mouse World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner specializing in vacation destinations all over the world. From frequent theme park getaways to annual family cruises to once-in-a-lifetime epic worldwide adventures, we can help you make those dreams a reality. At Mouse World Travel, we focus on quality vacations to provide guests with the most optimal experience. Our agents treat each trip as if it were their own, which means a special, personalized vacation just for you. Our agents provide concierge-level service during the vacation planning process, including offering recommendations to fit your family's needs, such as help choosing hotel or dining locations, suggesting add-ons or extras that we think your family might enjoy, offering tips and tricks to make the most out of your vacation, and answering questions to help you plan efficiently. Some of our more popular vacation destinations include cruise lines such as Norwegian and Royal Caribbean, all-inclusive destinations such as Sandals and Beaches, Universal Parks and Resorts, and, of course, the various Disney destinations, which include the theme parks, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and Alani. There's something for everyone, and no matter what type of vacation you're looking for, an expert agent at Mouse World Travel will help you get there.
Okay, guys, so today we have special guests with us. You've met them before. They're some of our favorite special guests.
Hi.
Say hello to the Ropedrop Kids. It's officially summer.
Okay, introduce yourselves again so that everybody remembers who you are and everyone can hear voice changes, because I'm sure that that's happened across the board.
Probably.
I'm Kenley. I'm the oldest. I don't really know what else to say.
What's new in your life since last summer?
I bought a car and I almost have a license, and I still have my job that I had last summer.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Lyndon. I'm the youngest. And
You just finished up, what, 4th grade?
yeah, 4th grade.
Awesome.
I'm Asher. I'm 14 years old, and I am Aaron's middle child.
Do you feel like a middle child?
Yes.
Going into high school this fall, though, yeah?
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was a sharp S.
I'm Jack. I'm 11 years old, and I'm Katie's youngest.
And he's actually 12. I'm going to remind him.
12.
And he's been 12 for a while. It didn't just happen last week.
He's halfway to 13. That's funny.
What's new with you, Jack? What grade are you going into?
7th.
7th grade. And what do you have happening this summer? All the things.
BYU basketball. I just finished Mountain View basketball. We're doing a national parks trip to like Glacier, Coeur d'Alene, Yellowstone.
Lots of tennis lessons, a football camp,
Yeah.
all the things. Keeping
Fun.
me in the car and busy all summer.
Yep. Why not?
Why not?
And I'm Erin.
And I'm Katie.
Nice to meet you guys.
And I'm the oldest child of 5.
And I'm the oldest in the room.
Oh, that's true. But
by
not by
like
a lot.
45 years.
By 11 months.
By
Just kidding.
exactly 11 months. Thank you very much.
Just kidding.
I actually got an invitation to AARP yesterday in the mail. So it said, welcome to your 50s.
Oh, that seems
Exciting mail for me.
that seems early.
It's a little early.
Do they offer Disney discounts? I know
Maybe.
AAA does.
They do offer a free car organizer if you sign up now, though. I was pretty excited.
That's almost
Guys,
worth it.
I'm not in my 50s, not even close. Stop it.
I mean, you're closer to your 50s than
Wait.
you are to 40.
Wait, you're 42, right?
Yes, you are.
no,
Mom.
I'm only 44.
Mom,
that's
you're
right, I'm
45.
Never mind.
I thought you were 42.
I am in my heart.
Jack
You
just
thought you were
struggles with-
11, so
That's right.
Yeah, Jack.
Jack likes to age everyone backwards.
I can remember my brother's ages, but it's kind of hard to remember my parents' ages.
How old am I?
45.
She just said, good job.
Here's a trick question.
What?
If you listened a second ago, what's my birthday?
I don't know.
She's exactly 11 months older than me.
When's your birthday?
moving on.
Wow, Jack. You don't even know your mom's own birthday.
I can't remember these things.
That's okay.
Okay, so today we had someone write into us that wanted to hear our kids' experiences with solo trips versus family trips versus big group trips and how each one compared to the other, how you felt about it. And their concern, I'll tell you guys this, their concern was they want to do some solo trips with their kids, but they're worried about how their other kids might feel about it.
Okay. That sounds like a
legit
good
concern.
Yeah, a legit
well,
concern.
and we actually even did an Am I the Disney Villain episode one time, and one of the questions that was posed was it was a sister duo. The one sister was the aunt of the kid and wanted to take just the older girl with her to Disneyland, and it was like a question of whether that was okay to leave the other one out, the other sibling out. So this is a question that comes up a lot, actually, whether it's okay to just take one kid.
Yeah. And you know us pretty well by now, everyone listening. We go pretty frequently. So our experience might be a little different than if you are someone who is considering maybe a once-in-a-lifetime type trip. This is going to be more for people who are able to go more than once, who are able to go occasionally even, you know. So consider that when you're thinking about whether or not to take an only child trip with one of your kids. But every kid in this room has been on an only child trip.
Yes.
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 And multiple trips with just their immediate family and at least a handful of trips with extended family and friends.
Yeah.
So we kind of have all the experiences. So Jack, let's start with you.
All right, so I think I've had 3 solo trips. One was with Katie and my grandma. One was just me and Katie. Another one was just me and Katie. The ones that were just with Katie were for Oogie Boogie Bash.
Both of them?
Yeah, and the one with my grandma was a normal trip. When did we go for that?
It was in April, so it was
April,
actually kind of for her birthday.
Yeah, that's one of the only times I've been on the normal Haunted Mansion too.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, we have that problem in our family, don't we? Lyndon's never been on Haunted Mansion. And Asher really loves the classic Haunted Mansion, but we tend to go in the fall frequently, like you guys. And so he's a little frustrated because I think the last handful of times we've been, it's been Haunted Mansion Holiday.
It's really sad.
I know.
Didn't we ride the normal one at Disney World though?
We did, but
It's not Disneyland.
still, it's not the same.
No Hattie.
No, well, now
There
they
is
have
now.
Hattie.
Don't even get me started.
But he's
Yeah.
Asher has opinions.
Tried not to bring that up.
We actually just watched a video the other day of
Offhand Disney.
that was talking about how
Jack's favorite YouTube
offhand
channel.
the location of the Hatbox Ghost is at Disney World.
I saw
It
that
doesn't-
video.
We don't love it.
It doesn't
I
make
love offhand
it doesn't
Disney.
make sense because at that point in the ride, you're not supposed to see ghosts like
Right.
the floating
They're supposed
candle.
to be hidden.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the floating candle. You're not supposed to see that ghost. The only time you're supposed to see ghosts is in the attic scene.
Right? That's the first time
And
you should
that's-
see them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
When Madame Leota summons them.
yeah.
Well, this
Yeah.
is not what the episode is about, but
no.
no, that's okay.
But
We
it's
like going
fun.
in the weeds. I think that I don't know if they were just trying to be different at Disney World and put it in a different spot because
Probably.
they really could have put it in the attic very easily.
Oh, totally.
So I don't know.
This is what I
Same
think.
spot.
I think that they just decided that the West Coast had something the East Coast didn't, and they were going to correct that, and they just slapped him down at the first place they thought to slap him down. Disney, it's not too late. You can move him. And
Dear
make it make
Disney.
sense.
They were
Yeah.
tired and they just didn't want to. They didn't want to have the extra work to go to the attic scene.
They didn't want to go up the stairs
They
with
were
him.
just like, I'm just gonna-
But we
I might
paid
move him
attention to
tomorrow.
it when we were there a few weeks ago, and there is space in the exact same spot that he's in Anaheim.
Yeah.
There's a place that he could have been put pretty easily, I think.
I was thinking, maybe there's some structural issues.
Or
with
like
that
the
area.
electronics of it or something
Right.
like that.
why-
We don't know the behind the scenes, obviously.
Because why would they not put it there? Like that
Dang,
makes sense.
this really could be a whole nother episode for these
Oh, yeah.
Ropedrop Kids is
Here we
comparing
go.
haunted mansions
Yeah.
coast to coast.
I think
Okay,
that
write
was-
it down.
Write it down.
I
and
think
remember.
that was something on the Instagram. Someone was like comparing both sides.
Okay.
But I
there
don't
you
know.
go.
So
Okay.
maybe
Also,
Stick around
if
for
you
things
look
to come.
If you look at them both up close, the Disney World one's like, I know that's supposed to not look appealing, I guess, but it looks ugly in Disney World.
Yeah,
like the
Hattie?
face.
Oh, Hattie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
Like maybe he's too high def.
Yeah.
I
haven't
think
seen
that a
it
lot
yet.
when I'm watching
Like,
The Real Housewives.
He,
They're too high def.
bro.
like he looks more like how he looks in the new movie.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Got it.
Okay, so
back to the topic
solo
at hand.
trips. Then you've also taken, what else have you taken?
Family trips.
With just your little family, just the 5 of you.
I have my favorite trip with just my family was it was actually also with our friends, the Grants and the Polsons, but it was a Halloween trip, but it was before Oogie Boogie Bash was a thing. And that was my favorite, just our family trip.
How old were you?
Probably 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you were almost
Actually,
7.
wait, yeah,
you were 6 turning 7 because I remember having an issue with you riding with another kid on rides because they would ask his age and he wasn't quite 7 and he wasn't willing to lie about it.
Bruh. Come on, Jack.
So,
Oh, yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure the year before, I'm pretty sure I actually was tall enough to ride California Screamin', but I never got the chance because I just didn't think I was.
no.
I love
I feel
California
like we would have
Screamin'.
tried it if we thought you were tall enough, but maybe not.
So
I felt like I was.
So comparing all of them,
sorry.
Jack, what has been your favorite? What's your favorite way to go?
Probably my top two would be the one with my mom
Katie.
for to Oogie Boogie Bash.
Mm-hmm.
And the one where we went with Christmas, probably one of our most recent trips.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an extended family, wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yes.
It's between those two.
Which is funny to me because that trip, I mean, I loved spending it with those people, but it was rainy and cold the whole week, so it's not my favorite trip.
I love
But it was fun. We had a good time.
I think one of Asher's favorite trips was it was like all rainy and stuff that weekend too.
Nice.
Right?
I can handle the rain. It's the cold that I can't.
Yeah.
Here's a question, which I don't know the answer to, which is kind of weird that I don't know the answer to this. So, Jack, you've been on solo trips. Have you taken the other boys on solo trips?
Noah has been on a solo trip. We went, remember, when we
During
first
summer.
started the podcast, he and I
do
went
remember
on
that,
that
yes.
solo trip for his birthday. And then Hayden has been by himself when he was an only child. So,
Okay.
if that counts.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Jack, because this was a big part of the questioning. You've gotten to do the most solo trips, but were you jealous when Noah got to go on his trip, or were you okay with it?
I was okay with it because I had already gone on 3 before he went on 1. Actually, wait, no. I had already gone on 2 when he went on 1.
And I feel Jack's a pretty easygoing kid, too. So I think that kind of plays into when you're deciding whether your kids would be okay with
Well, and the
your
good news
other
is-
kid taking a trip.
Luckily, I have some kids who are not quite as easygoing as Jack. And so we'll hear their opinions in just a second so you
Yes.
can kind of get the full gamut. But I think that how do you think, how would you guess that Noah felt or Hayden felt when you get to go on a trip with just your mom?
I'm sure they were fine with it because, like, I feel like,
We should have brought them with us today.
Yes.
yeah, I feel like they were fine with it because, yeah, usually when we got home, they were usually fine with it.
Yeah. They were pretty,
They
They
were
were
good
good about
about
it, for sure.
Okay. So your favorite trips was a solo trip and an extended family trip. You just don't want to spend time with just your parents and your brothers.
No, I loved that trip too. It's just I didn't like it as much as.
That's fair. I'm kidding.
I think it's probably the the extended family trip.
Okay.
Why? What did you love about that?
My cousin, I don't get to see him too much, so it was kind of nice to go with them because the last Disney trip we went on them was with them was Disney World 2019. I would
I was going to say
say.
that was quite a while ago.
2019, yep.
Yeah, and then in 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Oh, for Christmas?
Yeah,
with
for
them?
Christmas.
Mhm.
And this year we went in Halloween, so we've had a few.
Yeah, they're good Disney buddies.
Yeah.
And actually, all of my family and Heath's family both they're all good Disney buddies.
Yeah, it's
We've been
just
to Disney multiple times with all of them.
yeah, it's just her Katie's family doesn't go with us quite as much.
Right. We do have a big
we
trip coming
yeah,
up with
we
them
are
this
going in
November,
November.
though, so that'll be fun.
Super fun.
Is that going to be during my birthday?
Before.
Before? Damn.
Do you know when your birthday is?
November 20th.
Good job.
Making sure. Okay, so let's jump to Kenley. And the reason I want to jump to you next is because you, of my children, are the one who's gotten to go with cousins and, extended family. So we went on a trip with 2 cousins, an aunt, and your Nana. You've also been on a solo trip. Actually, yes, you have.
Oh, yeah.
For your birthday with Rosie.
Yeah.
and family trips and a big group trip. So kind of how do you feel about the comparison of all of those?
I kind of, they were all good. I think so they all have pros and cons, I feel like. So the one with my, like cousins and like extended family it was good, but I liked the trip. It was great. I loved the trip, but we didn't rope drop any of the days because they kind of are slow to getting up and stuff like that. And so I was kind of sad about that. And then this last summer, I saved up for another trip with me and my like best friend and then my mom, and that one was probably one of my favorites because like it was her first time, and so I liked having her like experience everything, and like it was her first time on a flight and stuff like that, and so I was happy to like experience that with her.
And you have gone with extended family when you were quite small. I think you were 3 when we went with like all of the family.
Everybody.
So you may not remember a lot of that, but let's compare a little bit to when we went with our friends because they're kind of like family to us.
Yeah.
They kind of feel like cousins, right?
Yeah.
How did that trip compare?
I think that one's my favorite trip overall, just because I liked we all get along really well. And like with that trip, it was also their first time experiencing it all. And so I liked that too. But I liked that we had the big group. Like it was kind of hard to go on rides, but like honestly, I think we went at a good time where like it was busy, but it wasn't that busy. So we didn't really have any problems going on the rides actually with the 10 people. But that one's probably my favorite trip just because of the big group and like we all get along really well, and they were willing to do whatever we wanted. Like they were willing to do what we wanted to do. So we rope drop every morning, and like our hotel rooms were connecting, and so like that was fun. I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits of going with a big group like that when you're friends and happy to be together is the conversation in line makes the lines go by way faster too.
Yeah. And like we all get along really well. And so that was really easy. And like we never had to like separate for a while or anything. Like on my solo trip, we had to do that a couple times.
That's funny.
Our solo trip with
oh yeah, with my cousins.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, we haven't separated. I don't like ditch her because she's annoying.
No. No, not that yet. So, but the biggest group was probably my favorite one. So, yeah.
Okay.
And real quick, because we asked Jack this, your brother and sister have both gone on solo trips. How did you feel when they were gone and you weren't?
I was fine. I was the first one to go on the solo trips, and so I don't know how they feel about it because like it was kind of like, oh, she has to do this. Now when are we going to do it, you know? But since I already had mine, it was fine for me. So, yeah. I was okay with it. Rock, paper, scissors, see who goes next. Just kidding.
Wants to go
It should be Asher because he had the next solo trip.
I don't care. Pick me. I don't care.
So Asher
Yes.
how many solo trips have you been on?
I've been on one solo trip.
One solo trip and a handful of family trips.
And let's throw this in there too. Don't feel too bad for him because he also last year got to go on a solo trip to San Francisco. So that was kind of...
Oh yeah, that was better than the Disney trip.
So let me throw this in there. That was a choice that he made to go somewhere other than Disney. So he has gone on 2 solo trips. Just one was not a Disney trip.
And
Yeah.
he went to a concert.
Yeah, I did. And I liked going on the Disney trip alone because I'm, kind of an introvert. So I don't like there being a lot of people because it kind of stresses me out. And everyone's so slow because I usually walk really fast. And everyone's really slow, so they're usually really far behind me. And then we always have to take bathroom breaks and everything like that. So I just prefer going with lots less people because then you can get more done. And everyone has a little bit more, like, I don't know, it's easier to move.
Yeah, and you can kind of choose what you want to do and don't have to take a poll and see if everybody wants to do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That was one thing I was thinking of that's a benefit.
Especially on a solo trip. Like, the solo trip is, like, dedicated to you. So you're kind of like, I want to do this. And they're like, okay, let's go do it then.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, I want to do this. And then some people are like, I hate that ride. And so we never get the stuff that we want to get done.
Did you enjoy some of our bigger trips with more people?
I did. I enjoyed the one with the pursers. That was great. And I like family trips, but they're kind of clunky, and there's kind of like it's hard to get along with people on solo trips when it's like really hot out, and it's hard to get along with people when it's
Family dynamics are interesting, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
So far, I'm getting the vibe that your least favorite trips to Disneyland are the ones that are with just the people you live with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
You like the specialness of going by yourself and also the excitement of having a big group.
Yes.
I feel like all three of you have felt the same way so far.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you're on your solo trips, do you feel like you get, more treats, an experience of like a tour, for instance? Like there's things that you can do on a solo trip that are a little less cost prohibitive than when you're with a big group, right?
Yes, for sure. Especially when we went to San Francisco. My dad did not care. He was like, "Oh, you can buy this if you want to." I don't think my mom appreciated that.
That was fun. That was real fun, yeah.
It was great.
She would have done the same thing.
But like with your solo trip though too, you got to do like the tour and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
The walk in Walt's footsteps.
And so, yeah.
So
Was that
there's
fun?
another benefit.
Yeah, it's great. And it's nice to have, the people so you can do like more extravagant dinners and stuff like that rather than just eating at like Plaza Inn or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Or get a churro whenever you want. I know not everybody's a churro fan, but that's just the first example that came to my mind that you could get, a treat more often than,
Yep.
Yes.
than buying 5 churros for everybody, right?
I was just going to say something from what you were saying about the family trips. I just think that we've gone on more family trips than like the extended family and like the solo trips. And so I think
Yeah.
those just kind of blend in, you know what I mean? Does that kind of make sense? So the ones that we've only done one time are,
Are the ones that stick out to you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was just gonna add something. I forgot. This is probably a top 3 trip, but it was kind of a solo trip, but it was just me and my mom going with my aunt and my cousin, and it was really nice because they were both willing to get up like as early as possible to do it. Also, it was my cousin's first time going to Disneyland ever, so that was nice to see.
I actually was kind of surprised when you didn't include that one in the beginning because I
Yeah.
know that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Also, the first day was really fun. We spent most of the day at DCA. But the second day, we started at Disneyland, went to DCA, park hopped back to Disneyland. And me and my aunt stayed till park closed and spent most of the time in Tomorrowland. But we went to Adventureland and New Orleans Square, which I don't want to go into another topic, but I think Tomorrowland gets too much hate.
That could be another episode for sure. The
Yeah.
Ropedrop Kids take on Tomorrowland.
And in its current state, what it needs.
Yes. One thing I was thinking about when you were saying that is there needs to be a Disneyland or a Disney park personality test that you have to take before you invite somebody to come with you.
Yeah, me and my aunt are the most similar when it comes to
Yes.
like our preferences when we go to Disneyland. We want to stay as long as possible. So yeah, we got on Space Mountain like 6 times maybe because everybody was gone. We got on Star Tours maybe like 4 times. Smuggler's Run a lot, and then Indiana Jones probably the most times.
Yeah, Aunt Gigi is she's a good match for you at Disneyland
Yeah.
for sure.
I feel like every time we take people who are not super familiar, I mean, we've taken people on their first trips a couple of times. We make sure that they have proper expectations before heading into the trip.
yes, we do.
We can wear people out for sure.
Okay, so Asher, how did you feel since Kenley's was the first solo trip? How did you feel about it when she went? Did you know? You knew ahead of time, right? Kind of.
I think so. I think I knew.
I think I had kind of given you hints.
Yeah.
I don't think I had come right out and told you, but I think I prepared you for the idea that it was going to happen.
Yeah, it was fine. Like I didn't care much. What I remember is I slept in Kenley's bed. So
You did?
You got to get up super early too.
I don't think she needed to know that.
You just missed her so much.
yeah.
Actually, I remember quite well, if you don't mind me saying a little bit. You were actually really excited for
He was
her.
really good
Yeah.
about it. I remember it because we left St. Patrick's Day, and I remember him getting up and being like, "Where's her stuff?" And then like noticing, and then him being really excited.
What she means by stuff is the leprechaun would come visit us and leave us like
Yeah,
Lucky
that stuff,
Charms,
yeah.
a green T-shirt, things like that when my kids were smaller. And when Asher and Lyndon woke up that morning, there were only 2 little sets of treats. There was not a third set of treats.
Yes. Because the leprechaun knew that I was going to Disneyland. So, but I remember him being really good about it. And yeah. So,
Yeah.
Was it Patrick Bagora?
Yeah. Perhaps it was.
Probably.
Did
He knew we were coming to visit him.
Did he hitchhike?
Yes, he came back with you to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So sweet.
But also, too.
Did you take him to Indy?
Dropped
Drop
him
him
right
off.
If we did. But 2, with his solo trip, I'm going to add this. I knew ahead of time. So with both of theirs, I think, right? I knew. So that was also fine.
Of course you knew. It's favoritism.
Okay.
Favoritism.
I asked Asher a couple weeks ago what a personality trait to describe Kenley would be, and he said favorite child.
Oh. Okay.
It's true.
It's not true.
It is.
It's true.
We can have an episode about this, too. You guys can battle that out if you'd like.
Not a topic that I would enjoy to listen to,
Yeah,
or
maybe not.
anybody else.
All right, Lyndon, let's get your perspective a little bit. You're the youngest child, just like Jack. So you were probably the last one to go on a solo trip. What was your experience on your solo trip? What was your favorite thing about it? And what's your favorite thing about family trips?
So, I went on a solo trip in 2022 with my mom, and we went to Disneyland. Yeah. And with a solo trip, we got to do like more stuff. I feel like because like it was only like the 2 of us. Oh, we got to pilot the Mark Twain, which was really fun. And I feel like
Which, if you had all your siblings with you, probably would not have
Yeah.
happened.
No, because they don't fit a big family up there.
yeah, it was kind of tiny, like the area. And so I don't like if we had the whole family, we wouldn't have gotten to do that. That was really cool. And then, like, on a family trip, we got to do, like, less stuff. Like, we didn't get to do, like, we didn't really have any, like, special things about that trip. It was, like, really fun.
How about talk to us about how you felt about our big group trip?
Did you like it?
What one?
The pursers.
Oh.
How many big group trips have you been on?
1.
No.
Yeah.
We've been with our, like,
You were not even in.
not just our family, though.
With just us, the 5 of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, a big group one. Talk about how you felt about going with the pursers.
It was really fun. That was actually probably, like, one of my favorite trips.
How did you feel when your brother and sister both got to go on solo trips way before you did? Were you okay with it?
I was like really young for Kenley's, so I didn't really like know. I was really confused with Kenley's because like she was gone and I didn't know where she was, and so I was confused. But with Asher's, I was fine with both.
Okay, because you knew it would happen for you too, or you were
I
just.
think
fine
we
with
kind of
it?
had to tell her, we're like, Lyndon, don't worry, you're going to get yours too.
Also with mine, I kind of knew because you guys were like hinting at it, like around my birthday, and so I kind of like knew that it might happen.
Yeah, I think toward the end, I was super secretive, and I got less secretive and less secretive with each child, honestly, because they were surprises. All of my kids had surprise trips. Asher, I didn't ask. What's your favorite trip that you've been on?
San Francisco.
Not San
Disney
Francisco.
trip.
We're talking about Disney. Do you like going with the big group? Do you like going with just your family, or do you like
The
solo?
February 2019 trip, just by myself and Bampi and you.
Okay.
Bampi is our dad.
Yeah, I
by
was
the way.
like, who's Bampi? Probably should tell them. And then Lyndon, did you say what your favorite trip was? Yeah.
Yours was the big group. So consensus is favorite trips are solos and big groups.
Which is understandable. I
Plus,
guess.
you live with your immediate family, so
Wait,
it's not quite as exciting, right?
I was just gonna say, mine was just a surprise. They weren't even hinting at it. Like, I knew my mom was going, but my dad asked me if I wanted to come to drive her to the airport, and then she asked if I wanted to come with her, and then I'm like, but I don't have my bag, and my dad just pulls my suitcase out of the trunk.
That was a fun
So
surprise.
I
We
just-
pulled it off.
Plot twist.
Yeah, I just didn't know anything about it.
That's kind of what happened with my trip too. Is we went to the airport, they pulled out my bags and put them in the back, and then
Pretty fun. It's fun.
With my surprise, they picked me up from school, and I thought I had like a dentist appointment because that's what my mom told me, and she said that she like left her credit card at the airport because we were there the day before, and so she said that she was getting it, but then she pulled out my bags and and it was really fun.
There you go. Some ideas for how to surprise your kids. Leave your credit card at the airport. Tell them they're going to the dentist.
I was going to say, often at our house, we're going to the dentist. Wink, wink. Okay, so the specific question was, I'm considering taking my kids on solo trips, but I don't want my other kids to feel bad about it. Nobody has felt bad. Everyone's felt okay about it. Would you encourage someone to do that? Would you encourage someone to take a solo trip with their kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, well, I mean, of course, that depends on, how the kid reacts to like jealousy and stuff. But I would say, go for it because it's a great opportunity to get to bond with your kid and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great experience because you, like, sometimes sometimes your family doesn't like waking up early. I'm not saying our family doesn't. There's only one person who doesn't enjoy waking up early for Disney.
Throw him under the bus. Who is it?
Hayden. I mean, Noah's not happy about waking up early if there's no purpose, but
he'll wake up early at Disney.
Yeah.
So I just, from a parent's perspective, I know you're getting the kids' perspective, but from a parent's perspective, I think it's super, super important to have one-on-one time with your kids. That's something that I've always believed since they were little tiny. Just to get to know them a little bit better. You go through the day-to-day of life and, wake up, go to school, go to bed, and you don't really get to have meaningful conversations with them.
And fun.
One-on-one very often when you have multiple kids in your household. So
Yeah.
there's a plug from a parent.
And
I say do
plug
it.
from a parent is if you're able and you have several children and you're able to do this, I mean, you get to go to Disneyland more frequently.
That's right.
And it's less expensive.
Yes.
So take each individual kid, plan on, in my family, 3 trips at least, and take them, spoil them for a few days, kind of let them call the shots and let them feel special and important for a few days. And then you get to go more frequently.
Mm-hmm. And I've taken kids at all different age sets, I guess, on solo trips. So Jack was how old were you for the first one? 5 or 6? Something like that. And then 8 for the second one.
Probably like 3 for the Granby trip.
Yeah.
That was when I was like 3.
But a little bit on the younger side, right? And then a little bit towards the medium age side, and then a little bit older for the most recent one, and then
Oh yeah, I forgot about that Halloween trip.
Yes, and then Noah was 14 or 15 when I took him on his solo trip, and they've all been amazing. So I wouldn't say the age really matters necessarily. You could take them when they're young, you can take them when they're a little bit older, and it'll be just as fun either way.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today, Ropedrop Kids. And here's a little plug. They're going to be doing some solo episodes this summer, so stay tuned for that.
Kenley thinks they're going to do them every other week. She's not right. She's wrong.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, you guys are having a meeting tonight, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To go over your summer calendar. We're going to figure out what works best for schedules and editing.
But probably not every other week.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Okay.
Didn't we do them every other week last year?
What do you mean by that?
remember.
What do you?
It
what
was
do you mean
about
by that?
two a month.
Was it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they did 5 or 6
So that
episodes
is
total.
every.
We'll
So
see.
that is every other week.
It's pretty close, but we'll see how our calendars mesh up. That's what we're talking about tonight at our little meeting.
We're figuring it out.
So,
Okay.
and here's your weekly reminder to follow us on Instagram, Ropedrop.Parkhop, and the Ropedrop Kids also have an Instagram account.
Yes, we do.
It is. Tell them, Kenley.
I think it's just ropedrop.kids.
Ropedrop.Kids. Okay, go follow them.
Has the same logo basically as Ropedrop
Yeah,
Parkhop.
so they should be easy to find, and she does some fun content on there. So
Sure. I've only done like 2 or 3 things.
that's okay.
That's okay.
okay.
When you
We're
have
gonna
some
do a lot
followers,
more
you'll
this
do more maybe.
Yeah, and that's where we got the idea for this episode. Was she posted a poll asking what people would like to hear, and this was one of the suggestions. So thank you for that. And we have a fun Facebook group, Rope Dropping and Park Hopping. Go join that. We have a fun Patreon. Here's our plug for Patreon. What else?
Rate and review the podcast. Give us a subscribe and rate and review the podcast. We appreciate it so much. It helps us grow. It helps us get seen. And see you guys next week.
Well, one more thing. Sorry. Thank you for all of the anniversary wishes.
Love,
Everybody send us an
yes.
anniversary love. It's our 3-year anniversary on Saturday.
Happy
is when we-
anniversary.
You too.
Thanks for
It was our
Sticking
paper
it out.
anniversary. Bronze. What was it?
leather.
Leather.
It was leather.
We decided we were buying each other new park bags
Yes.
in faux leather.
In leather.
So fun.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you.